So negotiation November rolls on, and today I wanted to share with you my experience in renegotiating my mortgage. I'm not going to lie, this was not a fun experience, but I had to do it. So I'm one of the many Australians whose mortgage was rolling off fixed, and I had to make some decisions about it. First of all, I had to accept whether I was going to negotiate it or let it happen to me. So I could have easily have let the mortgage rate just roll off fixed and for the bank to give me whatever they wanted. However, I decided that's not what's going to happen. I'm actually going to have the conversation with whoever I needed to have the conversation with to feel like I'm in more control or some control of what's happening in terms of the money that's going out of my bank each month. The second part was to think around, well, what's the options for how I'm going to approach this? So one was to go back to the mortgage broker, two was to go direct to the bank, and three was to go direct to some new banks. So I went and did all three. I went to the broker, which was an interesting and challenging conversation, to which he had said to me, I'm not really sure we can do a lot for you, and you seem to be offered a really good rate from the bank, so I should accept that. So I didn't like that, so I went direct to bank, and I also decided to go direct to different banks as well. In readiness for these conversations, I had to do some preparation, so I sat down and allocated two pieces of work that I needed to do. One was research I needed to do in the public domain. The second was with my friends and family. So in the first instance, I allocated a couple of hours to researching the internet on home loans. I didn't do any paid website comparisons. I just did what was freely available, and then I looked at individual bank websites to get my little spreadsheet of what are the things that they are offering. Through that process, I obviously I researched my own bank to see what they were offering new customers versus our renegotiation customers, and then I made a comparison spreadsheet. I looked at what was the best of what I wanted. So did I need a P&I? Did I want interest only? Did I want an offset account? Did I want multiple offset accounts? Did I want to go back to some fixed and some flexible? What were all the things that were important to me? Was I wanting a complicated loan or a base level loan? I then went and looked at a bunch of Facebook groups for different people around saving money and all the cool people that I follow around money. And looked at their advice and what the people were saying about the different loans and rates that they had in market. The next piece, as I mentioned, was research with my family and friends. Interesting, we don't normally talk about our mortgages, we don't normally talk about our wages, we don't like to talk about money because there's cultural taboos up the wazoo there. However, I encourage you to do so. If your friends live in the same suburb as you, likelihood is if you bought the property at the same time as you, your mortgage is going to be pretty similar. So you don't have to talk to your mates about the size of their mortgage, but it's important to talk to them about the rates that they're paying because you could learn something. Talk to them about, do they like their bank manager? Do they like their broker? The next piece was to engage in the conversation. So as I mentioned, I had 3 avenues to go down, and so I engaged all 3 of those avenues. I questioned everything. I had a really good conversation with my existing bank, and the guy who was allocated to work with me on that was really good, I have to say. And so we sat and we diagnosed, and I said to him, these are all the loans that I have seen that are better rates than mine, that have better conditions or different things in them that I want you to look at and tell me why I shouldn't churn away from my existing provider. I gave him a chance, because I think it's similar to when you're in a job. Give them a chance to keep you before you actually go and say, oh, see you later, bye, unless there's a cultural disconnect. And in this relationship with my bank, we don't have a cultural relationship. It's very transactional. So I thought I'd give them a shot at the title. So it wasn't all easy. It wasn't rosy. There was a period in that time where I was shocked at how much per month extra my mortgage repayments were going to be. I even said to the bank manager, there's been a mistake with the paperwork because this is so much higher per month. So ultimately, I ended up getting what I feel is the best deal for my family. The rate started at one point and ended at another point. I don't think it's really important what those 2 rates were because everybody's loan is different. But I can tell you that the start to the finish was nearly 1% difference. That 1% is a significant amount of money in our budget every month. Through this exercise, it's really important for me to know that we explored everything that was possible to explore, and this is the best rate that we can get. I don't think there's any great rates at the moment. I do think that this is a difference between what's good and what's manageable, but it's up to you to go through that process. But if you do go through this exercise, it really is about empowering you to negotiate the rate rather than letting it happen to you. So wish you luck. Enjoy the process as much as you can. Be patient, and if you need anything, reach out to us here. Cheers.